You're listening to the Mobcast Network.
I want to talk off topic because you may know a little bit more about this, and I want to mention about
We don't go off topic on the show, sir.
but you reminded me, and I think it's kind of important. So, Hollywood's going to strike?
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Yep.
So, can you fill people in on this?
Yeah. So there's a bunch of different things going on.
Learn a lesson. Learn something new.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, there was a contract that was made by the Empire of the unions. There was a contract that serviced the studios. Right. So that meant if you were working in a studio city, Atlanta, LA, Chicago, that means used to be New Orleans. There's a set of rules that govern that, and it's hours and wages and all that normal stuff that union type stuff does. Then low budget came out and they made a modification which allowed turds like me to have crews on movies that were union crew,
right?
Because we could afford to have them. But then this whole new thing came out called new media, and new media was like, what do we do with all this web content? And you got to think back. This is like mid 2000s,
right.
2010. So a contract is generated called new media. New media for the actors, it exists in the same way. The scale is crazy. The actor rate on new media is $125 a day. Right. In low budget, it's $500 a day. So there's a huge difference between that. Well, it's the same thing with crew. Well, the problem we've come into is they've never updated it. And now all the studios, Disney, everybody is running new media deals because they're all putting this stuff straight to streaming instead of theaters. And so now they're getting these movies made where the crew is getting completely destroyed because there's no money.
Right.
And so they're paying them less, worse hours. It's bad. And then all of a sudden now the studios are making more money, or the streaming companies are making more money. So they're striking because the biggest issue is their work days are getting insane. COVID's made it worse. I had a friend tell me, so you get 30 minutes for lunch. They used to say last man, last person. So the last person goes through the line and the clock starts, you get 30 minutes. Typically you get an hour because unless you're that last person, whatever. And so now they're getting up that she went all the way through the line because you can't serve yourself anymore. It has to be served to you. It's slower. Right. She got to the line, last person, and then they're like, all right, and we're back in. That means they're back from lunch. So she didn't even get to eat her lunch. And they don't care. And so there's an issue with that. There's truly an issue on that side of it. The other problem is their days are getting longer. They're turning into 14s as a regular. And listen, you make more money because you're into overtime at 10. So after 8, you're into overtime. So 14-hour day, you're making good money. But then most of these people drive an hour plus home.
Right.
It's rough. So the strike is to put up a wall and say, hey, we want to get paid fair. So they've, as all union negotiations go, they've raised the ante really high. And then they'll negotiate down because that's how they do their stuff. So they'll negotiate down and we'll see its stuff. And the people that are really taking solidarity, if you really want to show solidarity, you can say support ISA and do all that stuff. But if you really are going to do solidarity, you got to cancel all your subscriptions. Because that's what it's about. Every single one of them, you got to cancel them all. If you have video streaming subscription of any capacity, every single one of them is an offender because every single one of them uses that.